Yakwe non ro nikur, romotar imwalep, rorar, kobotok ilo ian in. Class io on 2025 ej kenan karui nene komnan ian Kwajalein in ilo Kwajalein High School. Ilap on classmate re eo imna mono no kunami kar joalok ian ko ami iam kobotok nan ian in. Kemej kenen komo komkin jiban ko ami ilo ian ameing kar jikul. Kio ke emuj anjemlok ial in high school. Eblok ial io an iliju im jakuluj nan kem. Kemej remonlok nan ial in. Ij tomak ejwan ial eo eman.
Good evening, friends, families, and distinguished guests. Welcome to the Kwajalein High School Class of 2025 graduation ceremony. My classmates and I are overjoyed that you chose to spend this night with us. The support that we have received from the Kwajalein and Ibai communities through our high school years is nothing short of spectacular. Our class's road to graduation has finally ended, and the light at the end of the tunnel is shining so bright. I can feel the anticipation growing by the second. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class of 2025.
Dear class of 2025, we made it. We finally did it. As we sit here on the stage, I'd like to say congratulations to all of us, and I invite everyone to enjoy this moment. Whether you're a senior, proud parent, close friend, far-traveling relative, or just snuck into the MP room, soak up this event and all it has to offer. Let's celebrate our hard work and cherish the memories made by our class. Writing this speech was no easy task. I wrote and scrapped multiple ideas, but it was a drop in the bucket compared to the journey we call senior year. For as long as I can remember, senior year has been hyped up and called everyone's favorite. While I'm sure we have all made lasting memories this year, like the bonfire at Camp Hamilton, riding the float during Light Up the Night, or our eventful senior picnic, if you know, you know, I would like to highlight the greatness of a few of our previous years. I arrived halfway through 9th grade, so I'm sure I don't have the full picture. However, watching our class grow in size and personality has been a pleasure. During freshman year, I remember having a few movie nights and that time when our biology class dropped an egg off of the school balcony. Some of my favorite memories of sophomore year include our in-class goodbye party for Mr. Morrill, giggling about random pirate facts during AP Euro, and staining our hands during the tie-dye fundraiser. Junior year entailed our catchy Reese's Puffs Turkey Bowl cheer. That was slaytastic. But who could forget when we hosted an epic prom at the yacht club or sold delicious Spam Musubi and Kool-Aid gummy bears. All in all, we've made some great memories, forging unlikely bonds and eating snacks every chance we got. I will always hold these stories close to my heart. I would like to thank the community for supporting our class through our many fundraisers and sporting events. Kwaj is one of the only places where you will witness 40-year-olds compete with teenagers like their lives depend on it to win a soccer game. Thank you to my family. I appreciate your enthusiasm and interest in my life. I'm so lucky to have all of you cheering me on. Mom, you have been with me through the best of times and the worst of times. Your unwavering emotional and financial support has guided me through thick and thin. Words cannot express my gratitude for building this beautiful life for us. Dad, I know that it was a sacrifice for you when you let me move so far away. It has not gone unnoticed, and I appreciate you. Ritz, thank you for your seamless love, support, and loyalty. Finally, thank you to my sister and my grandparents for traveling all the way from the East Coast to celebrate this event. Even as we move on from this island, some near and others far, our stories will continue. As Albert Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. We will stumble along the way, but it'll buff. We will forge more friendships, find more hobbies, and make more unforgettable memories. Who knows, we may return to Kwaj one day, or perhaps we'll create a home somewhere else. It's time for us to close this chapter and explore what the world has to offer. A dear friend once told me, "Believe in yourself, and you're halfway there." The possibilities are endless, but one thing we will always have is an interconnection to our experiences here. Maybe the real senior year was the memories we made along the way. Jaramon to the class of 2025.
A long, long time ago, on an island not so far away, the class of 2025 entered their first year at George Sites Elementary School. With Miss Costi at the door, the Kwajalein school system welcomed its newest and coolest students, Jaya, Aqua, Clary, Max, and Connor, the OGs. Life as kindergartners was amazing. We spent our time playing in the free room, had power hour with Miss Messina, reading buddies with the sixth graders, and our favorite, nap time before recess.
In first grade, with our new skills but without nap time, we welcomed 4 new students. Ethan joined our class with his infectious smile.
Hi,
Ethan. Marina arrived with her books in hand.
Hi, Marina.
And we met our favorite pair of twins, Isaac and Isaiah.
Hi, Isaac. Hi, Isaiah.
We enjoyed making arts and crafts and learning the water cycle. But unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to Max as he moved to Meadows Elementary, where he'd meet our future class president a whole 10 years before us.
Bye, Max.
In second grade, we and Miss Karen welcomed 2 new faces. Benjamin joined us from his home in Germany.
Hi, Ben.
And Justin arrived with his good camaraderie and passion for sports.
Hi, Justin.
We spent our time reading Charlotte's Web and counting our steps. We also went to the bank to trade a dollar bill for a dollar coin. Miss Karen told us to keep our coins safe because if we if we still had our coin on graduation day, she would reward us with lots of ice cream. Unfortunately, some of us lost our coins, but as for others, and at the end of the year, we had to say goodbye to Connor.
Bye, Connor. Third grade with Miss Kirk arrived along with our most school-spirited friend, Taru. Hi, Taru. We became multiplication whizzes with our ice cream scoop chart and learned to recycle with the help of the infamous recycle song.
Recycle, recycle, recycle now. There's nothing to it if you just know how. Word.
We had our international tasting party where we brought our traditional food and shared it with our classmates and friends. Somewhere in Colorado at Strasburg Elementary School, 2 third graders didn't know our song yet, but would come to know it once they met us.
4th grade started with the return of our dear friend Connor before the start of his Nirvana era. Hi, Connor. With the help of Mrs. Primo, we stepped into history as we became the exhibits of our Living History Museum. Later, we learned our states and each of their capitals, running the best state fair George Seitz had ever seen. Oh, and we made our Rube Goldberg machines that totally worked every single time.
Surprisingly, 5th grade arrived with our class still intact. But even more surprising than that, we got yelled at. A lot. But in between scoldings, we learned how to debate with our colonial-era arguments and made our name for ourselves with our very own Facebook page.
Finally, 6th grade was here. We were top dogs.
The kings and queens of elementary school.
The biggest and baddest kids on the playground.
We started the year by welcoming 2 new friends. We were joined by Philip. Hi, Philip. Who was very shy at the time, but would later unleash his fury on us via volleyball. And Avery, from her home in Strasburg, Colorado, with plans to fly high in her future career as a pilot. Hi, Avery. We learned a lot, from ancient Chinese history of our planet to the settlements we'd make on Mars. When we got to go. Sadly, just as the first semester ended, we had to say goodbye to our friend Ethan. Bye, Ethan.
Oh my gosh, what is that?
What is what?
It is middle school.
Does this mean
We're back at the bottom.
End of the food chain.
Sevies?
7th grade, where to begin? Do you guys want the good news or the bad news first? Well, the good news is that we welcomed a new member to our class, Michael, who made us smile with his love of memes. Hi, Michael.
Michael, I know him from Strasburg Elementary School.
It was an eventful year as we navigated multiple classes, went to our first real dance, and even won the famous Turkey Bowl tug of war. As for the bad news, there was some strange virus, and it was spreading across the world. And as 7th grade came to a close, so did our boarders due to COVID.
But as 8th grade came, that didn't stop us from being reunited with our long-lost friends, Ethan and Max.
Hi, Ethan. Hi, Max.
We learned to appreciate our sunsets after reading The Outsiders and watched chaos unfold as we threw our very first dance. All in all, a success. It was time for us to finally enter high school.
We entered 9th grade, at the same campus, believe it or not, but welcomed a new friend from South Carolina, Malia, who arrived with her senioritis 4 years before graduation.
Hi, Malia.
It was a year of in-depth study. We planted trees and tested blood types in biology, before learning the art of poetry from Kathy Jetniel-Kitchener with absolutely no hiccups. And as the year came to a close, we had to say goodbye to Marina.
Bye, Marina.
10th grade arrived with 2 new friends. Megan immediately whipped our class into shape and grew to be a class leader.
Hi, Megan.
I know her from Meadows Elementary.
And David, who was back from his Kwajalein preschool days. He was easily spottable with his massive afro and non-stop jokes. This year was one of mixed emotions, as we said goodbye to our beloved teacher, Mr. Morrill. We all saw him off at the airport and wished him the best of luck, and finished the year with Dr. Gerber as our substitute. We were so quiet and so manageable, and he loved us so much.
Junior year arrived, bringing 3 new friends with it. We welcomed Anna. Ready ready to physically or verbally fight anyone, even Ethan's 6-year-old little sister. And Zythel, with his soft-spoken demeanor and crazy impressive art skills.
Hi, Zythel.
We deservedly won Turkey Bowl. We ignored questions about college. But the fun wasn't over, as we were joined by Sebastian, who was lured into someone's home with the promise of snacks for a totally normal movie.
Hi, Sebastian.
And then we threw the best prom ever.
And finally, it happened. We were seniors.
The top dogs.
The kings and queens of high school.
The biggest and baddest students in the unair-conditioned hallways. Oh yeah, we were glad to be back. We started the year by welcoming back our old friend Marina. Hi, Marina. I met 2 new friends. Joshua, who always provides snacks and impromptu speeches. Hi, Joshua. And Lauren, who bravely came to Kwaj a month ahead of her parents with her beautiful singing voice. Hi, Lauren. This year was one for the books. We celebrated our 2nd Turkey Bowl win. Some of us took over Ponape after not being taken out by rushing water. Malia later was almost taken out by rushing water during our sail on the Cherokee. But we ended the year on a positive note, and...
What is that?
What is what?
Do you mean...
Is that?
Graduation?
Wow, we're really at the end of our high school story.
13 years of education has brought us here, and we're happy you're here to join us for bringing this chapter to a close.
Yep, and it's ending in about an hour. No matter how long you've been with us, we're happy for you to have been an important part of our history. Also, that time might not be true.
We hope that history can repeat itself and bring us all back together again. But until then, this will be the end of the history for the class of 2025.
It's not very often at graduation you give a speech and the graduates aren't here. But that's what the principal's address is. This will last exactly as long as it takes for them to put their cap and gown back on and join us. I keep thinking one of these classes is just going to wait and just make me really suffer up here. This group, they tried. They tried with a senior prank a couple weeks ago. We didn't bring it up, so they didn't think that we had noticed. They tied the doors together over in the other building. It was a pretty good one overall. The prank really, it was reflective of almost how this class has been in my time as their principal. It was just fun. And they've been such a pleasure to work with here at our school. They've just been, I don't know how else to describe it, they've been very easy to educate. Now that doesn't mean they all got perfect grades, but they showed up every day. And your kids, they just did what they needed to do. It was pretty amazing. As I was thinking back on many interactions with them, I remember one kid, I said, "Wow, great job. Look at those grades." They said, "Yeah, those are the grades I'm going to get." And for 4 years, those are the grades they got. They just took care of their business over and over and over. I have a special connection to them. They alluded to it when I was their chemistry teacher for 3/4 of the year. And when I started that, they were in 2 separate sections, about 10 in this one and 12 in this one, and they just would not stop talking the whole period. They all got along so well. And we decided at the semester, we're going to put them all in one group. And all winter break, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be something. And when they all came together that year, they were angels. They were so quiet and so good. And it was such an enjoyable time to teach them. Well done. Well done, parents, truly. I was thinking about this year and this island, and I realized I don't know what else happens around this island. I basically live here at this building. And if nothing else happened on Kwaj this year, Kwajalein produced some amazing kids, some amazing graduates. And that's you all. I ask them sometimes, say, well, tell me, who do you look up to? Who are your heroes? This came out pretty clearly in the baccalaureate service. And I say, who are your heroes? They say, well, my principal, of course. No. Of course. It's almost fascinating. Mom, Dad. When I say, who do you really look up to? Over and over. My brother, my sister. They're very unique in that way. And I must say that this group in particular has really demonstrated a closeness with their families that's been really inspiring to be a part of. And you all feel it, right? You see them growing up on the slideshow. You see them out here dancing. And the way that they are so close with their families has been truly amazing to watch. And hopefully you feel an incredible sense of pride in the people that they have become. I think about graduation on Kwaj, and it's different because after you graduate, it's kind of the end of childhood here. You might have lived here your whole life, but in a few weeks, you're going to get on a plane, and that's that. Away you go. It's such a graduation and the party on Sunday. Yes, thank you. It's such a conclusion to childhood, really. Thinking about this Sunday at the grad party that you all are going to throw, and it's going to be amazing. That'll probably be the last time that this group is ever fully together in one place at one time as they'll go on their places. And if I had anything left to leave you with as they prepare to go, your kids really are ready. They are ready for whatever their next step is. And they have some amazing adventures ahead of them. They've made some great choices about what to do next in life. And I feel so confident about the success that they are all going to find. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with your kids. You have raised amazing young people. Thank you.
There's something about today that feels almost too big for words. Maybe it's the gown, the cap, the closing of a chapter, but more than anything, it's the deep sense of gratitude we feel for the people who helped shape our lives.
On behalf of the graduating class of 2025, we would like to recognize and thank everyone who has been a part of our lives here on Kwajalein. We would like to thank the entire Kwaj community for playing an important part in our lives. You have been mentors, coaches, sponsors, neighbors, friends, families, and community members, and you have guided all of us. You all have provided us the opportunity to develop our leadership and sportsmanship skills. We would also like to thank the Colonel and his command team for supporting the schools throughout the years.
To all the teachers, both near and far, from elementary until now, you have played an immense role in our lives. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us and encouraging and challenging us. You have expanded the boundaries of our imagination and creativity. You have motivated us to shape our own destinies, to be critical thinkers, and to ask questions. We would not be here without your influence. Even if it didn't look like we were always listening and learning, we know your guidance will stay with us as we move ahead to new challenges.
As we begin this new journey, we are deeply grateful to those who stood by us, especially our parents. Thank you for every sacrifice, every early morning and late night, and for your unwavering support and unconditional love. You guided us with patience, strength, believed in us when we didn't believe in ourselves, and stood by us through every phase of life. We carry your love, your resilience, and the lessons you've taught us into everything that comes next. We love you, and we thank you for being our firm foundation.
Yakwe, good evening. I'm Dr. Amy Blakey. It is with great pleasure that I present to you the Kwajalein Senior High School graduating class of 2025 for the receiving of their diplomas. Acting on the recommendation of the Kwajalein School System faculty and by the virtue of the authority vested in our school and staff, set forth by the United States Army Garrison, Kwajalein Atoll Command, I hereby confer upon each of you the Kwajalein Senior High School Diploma with all of its rights, honors, and responsibilities. At this time, I would like to invite Colonel Morgan and Command Sergeant Major Miller to the stage to award your diplomas.
Back row, please stand and come forward when you hear your name. Joshua A. McGowan. Philip Kabua. Ethan A. Vanghouse. Benjamin Z. Hill. David F. Smith. Maxwell B. Abear. Jaya N. Corder. Connor M. McDiffit. Michael A. Africano. Zythel Linald S. Lasaria. Isaiah L. Reynes. Back row, please be seated. Front row, please stand. Aqualisa Lamari Caleb. Clary A. Thomas. Marina E. Dethlefsen. Taruru M. Knott. Avery C. Acosta. Isaac J. Reynes. Sebastian E. Reiki. Megan Hensley. Justin A. Pace Jr. Anna M. Colello. Malia J. Vereen. Lauren E. Fontanez.
Let's go, Cowboy!
Back row, please stand. Please join me in congratulating our graduates. Graduates, you may be seated. I would like to recognize the two students with the highest grade point averages in the 2025 class. The valedictorian is Malia Vereen. Please come forward and see your name. The salutatorian is Megan Hensley. Please come forward and see your name. I would also like to acknowledge the students who have been awarded honors diplomas. Please stand and be recognized when you hear your name. Avery C. Acosta. Aqualisa Lamari Caleb. Megan Hensley. Anna M. Colello. Justin A. Pace, Jr. David F. Smith. Ethan A. Vanghouse. And Malia J. Vereen. You may be seated.
Graduates, please stand. It is time to move the tassel from the right side to the left side to signify your graduation. If you ever forget which side your tassel goes on, remember that you wear it on your left side over your heart to remind you of Kwajalein High School. Graduates, please give us a few minutes after the ceremony. We will join you outside on the sidewalk next to our banner.